Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, I have a continuation on my story on the Monte Carlo. So before I get into this, the drama of this car, what I'm now deeming the curse of the Monte, because of course nothing went well. Maybe one thing went well, but everything else was completely botched. But I want to make it a point that this is not a bitching and moaning video. It's not a like I'm crying because I'm upset video. This is just stating the facts. You know, I've kind of grown up enough to realize this stuff happens, and you just got to fix it. There's no point in getting pissed off, no point in complaining. I know a lot of people have opinions as to what I should do in a reaction to this, you know, as far as like maybe suing the people who worked on it or demanding that they fix it and this, that, and the other thing. I already gave this a lot of thought, and because they couldn't do it right the first time, I have no reason to believe that they're going to be able to do it right. Nor do I want to sit there for weeks on end. Nor do I want to demand anything from anyone, even though maybe it's rightful. So anyway, as you guys know, I went to go get exhaust work done and some headers. So first off, not that it's a huge deal, but it's still a deal. There's lots of little dings and scratches and little dents here and there in this car, but there are other ones that were not there before. I don't have a perfect paint job, and obviously this would be way more upsetting if I just got the car painted. But it's still carelessness, you know, maybe bump it with a tool or a pipe or this, that, and the other thing. But there are new scrapes and scratches, which is, of course, disappointing, to say the least. So the first thing that I noticed, now, a lot of this stuff happened after I got home, and I was really looking at the car, really talking about things and researching things. But anyway, the first thing I noticed is that my brake release is right here. So I have a foot emergency brake, okay, instead of, you know, the handle you pull in most modern cars. And this release is broken. Now, you can see the light behind the dash behind there. Now, I kind of clipped it back in underneath so it's functional, but it was not like this. It was nice and tight. There was nothing wrong with it. My best assumption is that one of the mechanics reached under there to grab the hood release, which is right there, and says hood, and they grabbed this instead. And when they yanked on it, it broke. So that, of course, is very disappointing. So let's pull the actual hood release and look at some of the work they did. Oh boy. So the car got some performance headers, which you could see in there. Now these are not hooker headers, and that brings me to another point, is maybe miscommunication. You know, I called to see what was going on. I was never pushy. I was never, you know, demanding. I never put a time limit on anything. I just wanted to get done right. I just wanted updates. Now, originally I was told I was going to get some hooker headers. It was very important to me that they were ceramic coated and not painted, just because of longevity. I didn't mind paying a little bit more for a better product. These are not hooker headers. It was never told to me that they weren't hooker headers, but when I saw them, I realized that they weren't pretty quickly. So when I asked him what they were, he couldn't remember, conveniently. So he had to look back in the paperwork, couldn't find it. He said, I'll give you a call and let you know when I can figure it out. So right off the bat, that's a problem, right? What they end up being are JBAs, I believe. And I forget the exact model number, but they are the titanium ceramic coated. So I'm happy about that. My big concern was heat issues in the engine bay. I didn't want it to get too hot like the painted ones and the natural steel. They get some extreme temperatures. You know, obviously you can see the wires here. I mean, one of them is almost resting on it, you know. So I'm going to have to probably eventually get some high temp wires in here just to make sure there's not going to be any problems with the extra heat from the headers. But the titanium ceramic coating should hopefully help with that. So besides that, they broke the fuel line. That's right, they broke the fuel line. I don't think that breaking the fuel line was entirely their fault. It is rusted, but you know, of course they weren't delicate with it. Now you can see they attached a rubber hose. Okay, and this is probably 1.5 feet long. Use a couple hose clamps there just to get it so that it was functional. They told me that they couldn't do the fuel line because they don't make it for my car anymore, and they'd have to custom make it, and it'd be about 8 hours of work to put the fuel line in. So that's not something I was interested in doing. Also, there was a part here that they cut out to make room for the headers that they told me I didn't need. And I think they told me that it was an air pump. I actually have it in the trunk. I don't have the keys on me, so I can't grab it yet. But now I have kind of open hoses, and you know, I have two sensors here that aren't plugged into anything anymore. The check engine light is on, and I know it's definitely going to be on because there are no O2 sensors in the system. So it would be on for that point alone. But in addition, I don't know what else is wrong with the car because it's already on for that reason. So I'm going to have to get the O2 sensors put in anyway, which I was going to do down the road. But like I said, I have no idea what else could possibly be wrong because of that. So what else is there to talk about? There's a lot of back and forth. I would like to take a moment, though, to thank a new friend that I made. And I don't know if he wants me to mention his name, so we'll call him Mr. V. And Mr. V is a really, really nice guy. And he helped me out, and he gave me and my wife a ride to go pick up the car. One of the multiple times I was told it's going to be done. Okay, keep that in mind. Multiple times I was called and said, hey, car's going to be done, come get it. And every single time I went to go down to get it, there was another problem, and I had to go home. So unfortunately, I inconvenienced my new friend, took me down there, and had to go home empty-handed. It was a great opportunity to meet someone new, and I really had a nice time with him. But still, a huge inconvenience. Everything from the get-go has been an inconvenience. So anyway, what else? Boy, oh boy. All right, let's look at the actual pipe work. I have to say, at the end of the day, they fixed the timing, okay, because the timing was way off and it was misfiring. So I do have the balls back. I love it. It actually has some balls in this car. So that I'm grateful for. And the headers do fit and they do work and there's no leaks or anything. So I'm happy with that. But what I'm very unhappy about is the actual pipe work they did in the exhaust. The entire thing is completely shoddy. Let's crawl on the ground here and talk for a little bit here. So here's one side. Now this is 3-inch pipe. I asked for 3-inch piping all the way back. But what he did, and didn't ask me, just told me after the fact, was this system is 2.5-inch pipe all the way back to where the rear tire is. So you can see there's the weld into the 3-inch pipe. So literally they're like long 3-inch tips, essentially. See it on both sides here. Not to mention, it might be hard to tell here. I have to give you a side view. Hang on a second, let's see. These are cut at different lengths, as you can tell there. And also the diameter, even though this is 3-inch pipe, this one here is thinner than that one over there. It's actually a thicker gauge pipe, even though they're the same diameter. All right, let's get back underneath so we can take a look at that clearance. That clearance, though. What the hell am I supposed to do with that in Pennsylvania? You know, I made a very strong point that I wanted the entire system like snugged up against the car. You know, I got a hell of a lot of potholes in Pennsylvania. I can't drive around with that clearance. I mean, that's a joke. That is a complete joke. I mean, you know, the whole thing it's upsetting, but it's more just disappointing. You know, I'm not shocked by this. I've had such poor experience that it's like, it's whatever. They had so much problems with the headers because they were trying to put in the long tube hooker headers, and it wasn't fitting, it wasn't working. I just feel like the pipe work here was just thrown together at the last second. I mean, that's unacceptable. I can't have literally like a 3-inch clearance, okay? I don't have a lowered car. So anyway, let's get back up here. Talk about the other problems. There's so many problems, I don't even know what I've covered so far. So the pipe work's shoddy. I'm gonna have to redo the pipes itself. Now, what I'm not complaining about, but what I did notice is that this straight pipe is like twice as loud as the truck. It's so frigging loud. The I mean, I kind of expected it to be loud, but I didn't know it was going to be louder than the truck. That's something I'm not complaining about, because I couldn't have foreseen what that was going to sound like until I actually heard it. Now, on the low end and on the very high end, it sounds great. Right in the middle at like 45 miles an hour, it's way too freaking loud. Way too loud. So what I'm going to do is, when I get the pipes redone underneath, because they have to be all snugged up. In fact, where the bend is, I could probably take out like a 2 or 3 inch collar, re-weld it together, and that'll snug everything back up. Just run 2.5 inch all the way to the back until, you know, I'll leave it a little bit short of the bumper, because I do eventually want to put different tips on there. But I mean, what a mess. So here's another point. At this point, I'm pretty frustrated at the whole thing. Now, this car was on the lift. Every time I went there, the car was on the lift. It was never actually running anywhere. So I saw these pipes up on the lift. I didn't get a perspective of they're way too low. I mean, hold on, let's step back here and look at this. Let's look at this clearance here. Does that look like normal? Way too low. Up here is okay. And then they just drop down. Saggy pipes for no reason. I mean, this isn't even giving you a good perspective. I believe the other side's even lower, but it's too close to the house to give you that shot. Just crazy. So anyway, I get into the car to finally, oh yeah, let me pop the hood to show you this. I get one of the days that I went to go pick it up, they said it was done. Wasn't done. So he tells me, I just paid the bill, by the way. Just paid the bill. He said, your car's outside, ready to go. I go outside. It's not outside. It's still in the bay. The mechanic's still working on it. The problem was that with the headers, they couldn't get the right bends on my dipstick tube. Okay, so here's dipstick for my oil, right? Well, would you look at that? Looks like I'm a quart low. Yeah, I'll explain that in a second. So they couldn't get this right. They spent about 2 days, the better part of 2 days, almost 3 days, trying to get this pipe to fit. And eventually, they obviously cut this is like the third one. They ordered a separate one, that didn't work out. They ordered a third one. They finally got the tube to fit in, but the dipstick was too long. It wasn't going all the way down. So he decided to cut it and give me a 7.5 inch dipstick. Now, the last I talked to them at this point, he said, well, he's going to go to the junkyard and see if he could try to find one, because they don't make them anymore. Which I did a 5-minute search online. 5 minutes it took me to find one. But I'm assuming they have certain suppliers that they go through. So I don't know, whatever. So the dipstick needs to be replaced. I need a functional dipstick to see what the hell my oil looks like. I have to figure out whether this part that was completely cut out of the car, like an organ out of your body, if that's needed, if this is going to throw off my check engine light even after I fix the O2 sensors, you know. What else? So anyway, I'm in the car. I'm not realizing any of these problems. The only problem I'm realizing is the pipes underneath. But at this point I'm thinking, well, if they didn't do it right the first time, they're not going to do it again for free. You know what I mean? See if we can give you another shot of that. Let's get a shot down low. I mean, look at that. Come on. Seriously? That is not cool. So at this point, I'm thinking, you know, they're not going to keep doing free work to make it better. Because, I mean, the first thing you think of is, and most people would say, no, screw that. I'm not going to take the car until they do it right. Yeah, well, at this point, he's claimed that he's worked on it for 15 or 16 hours in addition to the labor already paid. You know what I mean? So he's not going to redo all the pipes and not charge me anything for it, you know? And his boss, I'm talking to like the manager, the actual boss wouldn't allow that either. So, yeah. I'm driving away, and I noticed that the speedometer and odometer, because it's one unit, one gauge, is not working at all. So I don't know if it's on the same circuit as what this was on that they cut out, or if it's not plugged in right. I can't figure that out yet. I have to research it more now. But the speedometer doesn't work. So the entire drive home in this very, very loud car, I had no idea how fast I was going. So luckily I made it home. I was never pulled over. I was kind of expecting to get pulled over because they were already a target, but now I could be going 20 miles over speed limit. I have no idea. So I mean, between the extra scratches, broken parts, missing parts that I don't know if they're actually needed or not, that doesn't really matter, the shoddy pipe work itself, the miscommunication was the biggest thing. You know, like I said, I wasn't demanding, I wasn't saying you have to get this done at this time for this price. It was basically, let me know what you can do, but I was never told. I was never told that the headers were being switched to something else. I mean, that's kind of important. You know what I mean? It's like going to buy a sandwich at the deli and you ask for, you know, ham and cheese and they give you a salami and provolone, you know, and you wanted, you know, ham and American or whatever. Completely different sandwich. You know, just say, well, you ordered a sandwich, so here, you should be happy. That's not how it works, you know? I mean, this is customer service 101. So that's where my disappointment really is. But I'm trying to be optimistic. And they did a good job with the headers. I'm happy with the quality of header that's in there. I'm happy that they fixed the timing, you know, in the engine so the car runs properly. It's just I have to redo this pipe work. I have to figure out the check engine light now. I have to fix the, you know, emergency brake lever. And the gauge, that's the most important. The first thing I have to do. I can't drive this around not knowing how fast I'm going. Not to mention, you know, I'm not going to have a true reading on the odometer. Not that it really matters because it only shows 100,000. Right now it's showing there's 25,000 miles on this, which we all know there's not the original 25,000. So it could be 125, could be 225. By its condition, I'm assuming it's a 125,000. So that's not a huge issue, but again, it's just an issue. This is literally the first experience I've had. Only the people were actually really nice. Okay, I'm not going to give names. I'm not going to tell you the location. Some of you guys could probably figure it out from my other videos walking around Jersey, but the people, the manager I was dealing with, extremely nice person. Very apologetic, very understanding. I'm sure if I bring these other issues up to him, because I told him about the odometer and the speedometer, but the answer I got was, oh, well, let me go talk to the mechanics. And he came back and said, well, they said it was working. That's not what I want to hear. I don't want to hear they said it was working. I'm telling you it's not working. You know what I mean? What did I do? I just literally drove 5 minutes down the road and I'm calling you telling you it's not working. So it's an excuse. I don't need a series of excuses. I need solutions to my problem. You know? So the positives, they were very, very nice people. They were very hardworking. It's just this whole project was above their head. No different than the first experience I had at the other place. They were not really capable of doing this job, but they took it anyway. And as they went along, I was the experiment car. You know what I mean? They have to MacGyver this and MacGyver that, and you know, I don't want to be the experiment car. It's not like going to college to get a free haircut from, you know, friggin' hairstylists that are learning how to do the trade. If this whole job was free, I'd be a little more understanding, but it wasn't free. You know, so that's my problem is I did not, at the very base of things, I did not get my money's worth. It's that simple. And the best analogy I can give is that the work that I got done, I could have got done by giving, you know, like an ex-mechanic neighbor a 12-pack and parts. That's the kind of workmanship that I ended up here with. You know, having your neighbor just help you out and throw some parts on your car for you. It's amateur hour. And, you know, I don't blame them as much as I blame myself for not researching this more. They had a good reputation. I just think it was above their level of expertise. Even the timing. They were trying to get the timing figured out. I mean, I was sitting there when they were starting the car and it kept stalling. And I'm like, well, what the hell is going on? I had to wait an hour until an expert from GM came down and fixed it in 5 minutes. You know, it should have been a red flag for me. Like I said, I'm not going to crap all over the people. They're really nice people. It's just, it was too much. It was too much to ask for this job. And, you know, it just sucks because like all the car specialists, they're out in California and they're like nowhere near me. All these places that just are really good at what they do. And that's what I was looking for is someone, these people are really good at what they do, but not this. That's what it comes down to, is not this. But the one thing I have a legitimate complaint on is that pipe work. I mean, come on, you got a a pipe guy that does this day in and day out, and that's the kind of work you're giving me. You're giving me 3-inch clearance, really? You know, and there's nothing in the way. I can't really give you a great shot underneath, but maybe, I don't know, from the side again. I can see where it can be adjusted, you know, and I don't do this for a living. If I had the proper tools, I mean, maybe that's what I have to do. I have to save my money and just friggin' buy a lift and do all my work myself. But it's just, you know, they went over the axle in the back. Why is that so low? Why can't you take off 3-4 inches off the top of that? You know, snug it up nice and tight up against the body. It's just, it's crazy. That's crazy. So I don't know. I don't think I'm being too particular here. I think most people would agree with me. But even if you don't agree with me with the pipes, you have to you know, kind of agree with me with the fact that things shouldn't be broken. It's really simple. I mean, I put the car, or I brought the car there with a working speedometer, a functional working, you know, emergency brake lever. These things were broken in an attempt to fix something else. So my first experience was, I went for, not with these people, but my other story. I went to a shop to get my oil gasket replaced, and they ruined the car. They fixed the oil leak, but ruined the car in the process. And now I have a similar experience where I went for an exhaust system, and the only thing I'm happy with is the fact that the car is running properly. The headers are okay, but the actual exhaust system besides that, no good. So in the end, it's just going to cost me more money, more time, more heartache. And like I said, I mean, if I really complain to them, and you know, and I really do feel like they're going to feel bad about all these things, and they're going to say, no, it's no problem, just bring it in, and because they are nice people. Oh, bring it in, well, you know, we'll fix it. But you know, the boss of the boss of the boss is going to say, well, you're not doing it for free, give this guy another bill. And I can't do it. I saved a long time to try to get this done, you know. So it sucks. And even if I had the money to do it, why would I trust them to do it? And do it right the first time? Why would they do anything right the second time? I mean, just again, I'm trying not to repeat myself here, but going back multiple times being told the car's done, and every single time I went there, I got sent home without my car. And I'm inconveniencing other people giving me rides and trying to help me out here. You know, it just sucks. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to do a video showing you guys the before and after for the exhaust, how it sits right now. But you better believe in the future, I got more work to do this car. And as far as the sound, nothing to do with these people, but it is screaming loud. Easily twice as loud as the truck. So I am going to throw on some mufflers on this. Still not going to do any cats, but I will do 2 performance mufflers. Still going to keep it dual exhaust, but I might do some Flowmasters. I'm thinking between maybe the 40 series, 44, Super 44s, possibly the Hush Power. I kind of like those. It's hard to, you know, you watch all these different videos and different vehicles, different motors, different setups. They all have a slightly different tone, but I can get a rough idea as to which one would sound the best. But yeah, I have to make it a little more reasonable to be able to drive around. But now it's a matter of, you know, making it legal. Can't drive around not knowing how fast you're going. So that's number 1. And of course I got to fix that or replace that fuel line too. That's a big deal. Can't have a, you know, half rusted, half rubber Franken fuel line. Kind of important. Kind of a fire hazard there. And then other things to consider now too. Even though I have the you know, coated headers, probably have to go and upgrade my you know, wires and plugs with something that's more heat resistant. You know, I know they make that fire cord stuff. It's like a wrap, but I think it's like $1 an inch or something. It's like a 30-inch piece for $30 or something. Anyway, you know, I don't want to make this seem like it's a big complaining boo-hoo for me video. It's not. I'm just kind of keeping everyone up to date on it. It's the curse of the Monte. God damn it. This thing. So frustrating. It's not the car's fault. Poor car. I love this friggin' car. Just, I don't know. Can't find someone that knows how to work on them. So stay tuned. You'll definitely hear updates on this. I love doing these car videos. I kind of feel bad because people are like, where are the knives? You're not car lover. I don't have to be. Post videos wherever the hell I want to. But I definitely will still post the knife content. I have a lot of knife stuff to do too. It's just this has been consuming my thoughts and my time lately. But now it's going to sit here until I get some more money together. Just total bum deal here. You know what? Let's get positive here and show you something cool. How about that? Something cool. Something that made me happy today. It made my wife really happy because she wanted them for a long time. I got caps. Yes, these were missing. These black caps. This is just, you know, the pull handle. Obviously you can use the door, but this pull handle here that's screwed in, and these caps are missing. All 4 of them. I need, you know, 2 on each side. So, ooh, we got a bike. He's having fun. Beautiful day to ride. Anyway, you hear that? Car's a lot louder than that. Not supposed to be. But yeah, I got caps. So you gotta be positive, right? The interior is actually not bad in this car. The only thing that I need to really replace is this, you know, visor, because it's cardboard inside, so it broke at some point before I got it. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty clean. And now I have, of course, the broken brake release. But yeah, I mean, you know, the inside looks a hell of a lot nicer than the outside. Anyway, that's all for now. Stay tuned. You guys will hear what this thing sounds like. But it's not going to stay like that forever. As soon as we get some more money going, we'll get her fixed up. Just going to take more time. And, of course, I got to fix up that baby right there. So anyway, I've been babbling on long enough. Thanks for sticking with me, listening to my story. Again, it's not complaining so much as it is pointing out the facts. These are all facts. Things went south. I wasn't expected to go south, but they have. And I already paid the bill. I'm sure I can fight for some kind of compensation. We'll see. I'm going to treat this, you know, respectfully. It's not going to be a big, you know, pointing fingers or anything, but I will definitely let them know of my dissatisfaction and my poor experience, see what they could do for me. But I'm not going to accept free work to fix it because they don't know how to do it. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth. So I'm trying to keep the, you know, keep the positive vibe. You know what I mean? It's all you can do. The older you get, the more you realize that it doesn't help to get pissed off at stuff. You know, I want to pout my feet and make a mean face, you know, but what the hell is that going to do for anyone? Nothing. So you got to be positive. I'm going to go play with Gus and enjoy the rest of my day. And maybe make some more knife videos for you guys. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. And I will see you soon. Take care.